Hi, I'm Annika Johnson from Al Johnson's in Sister Bay. I hope you enjoy my new video series called Door County Girl. These are stories of my life, the people and places that I love, and of course how we all survive here in northern Wisconsin. You can come back as often as you like, but don't forget to subscribe to Al's YouTube channel. I'll be posting lots of really cool new videos. So let's go. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Door County Girl. Today I am fortunate enough to sit in Kick Ash Coffee with a new friend of mine called Mickie Rasch. I know it's spelled R-A-S-C-H, but you said it was Rasch, not Rash. So.
Correct.
And she's in charge of, similar to what Louise does at the SBAA in Sister Bay, she is the northern part of Door County, Ellison Bay area, and Liberty Grove, right?
Right. It's Door County North is the name of the association, and it is the Community Business Association for the town of Liberty Grove, including the communities of Ellison Bay, Gills Rock, Rowleys Bay, portions of Sister Bay, portions of Bailey's Harbor.
Yes, because Liberty Grove is
so big.
That's so funny because my brother just tore down the Sister Bay Automotive, which has been there forever.
Right.
And Kenny Church owns a part of the water there, and I was cleaning for my sister-in-law because she had a liver transplant, and I took over her rental property, cleaner, and I'm like, why is this different tax than this? The house has this tax and your cottages have this. Because Liberty Grove is here and this is Sister Bay, and they have a property like it's just
across, yeah.
They own both, but I mean, it's like it's like the equator.
Right, yeah. So Door County North.
You have a big territory.
It is, and we are, very lucky and to have the great communities that we have. But a lot of people don't recognize the amount of area that the town of Liberty Grove encompasses.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so where are you from and how did you get here and how did you get this job? This is
Sure.
so interesting to me.
Yeah, well, I am originally, like a lot of people from up here, my career was in Illinois, but I was blessed to get a farm over in southwest Wisconsin in Crawford County, and that is where there were lots of floods, back-to-back floods. So
Is it where it's real hilly over there, like the driftless region?
So it's funny you should say that because I was actually involved in rebranding it the driftless region. We used to refer to it as the Kickapoo Valley.
That's like my favorite driving area.
So,
beautiful.
So over in the Kickapoo Valley, we, as a result of being involved with economic development and flood recovery, one of our ways for economic development would be tourism. And the other funny thing about it is that we would always look to Door County as, that's the best in class example of tourism. So whatever Door County, various, things we would learn about how they marketed to tourists. So I was doing that as a volunteer. And when a friend up here mentioned that this position, which was technically part-time year-round, but it's really, for all of us, it's really full-time year-round, was available, and I'm fortunate to have a home up here on Garrett Bay. I said,
beautiful.
they said to me, you know what, you're doing this for free. You really should make a little money for it, and you're good at it, so you should maybe apply for this job. So I did, and that.
So you're retired, but you're not really because now you're doing this.
Correct.
But it's more of a pleasurable job for you.
It is. I think it helps me stay relevant, and I'm a purpose-driven person. I have to be doing something, but it helps me stay relevant with marketing and the various skills I have from my career, which was primarily in Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you do? What did you do previous to all this when you didn't have your southwestern?
Yeah,
land
before the farm.
Yeah. How did you get involved with this kind of a job? Was that something you did in the past, way in the past, or?
I've had a variety of positions in marketing and sales.
Okay.
But really, at the time when I was on the farm and then volunteered for to get involved with the flood recovery effort, I was working with retirement communities, assisted livings, senior housing communities, and I would do what we refer to as market feasibility studies. And that's essentially going out and looking at various areas, in whether it's rural or urban, but primarily urban areas, where it would make sense to build either a 20-unit assisted living or a 150-unit retirement community. And so that was market feasibility study, and then we would develop the marketing plans for when those communities would open. And so
it would be like little pocket communities that if you wanted to move out there, you wouldn't have to go to the inner city. You could still live out in this area and have things available?
Well, kind of. Really, the model of that type of development back in the 90s was really about going to where the adult children who met the demographic profile that we were looking at, so household income, things of that nature, because primarily when you're ready to move to assisted living, it's often an adult child that's helping to make that decision, and therefore you're often moving back closer to where the adult children would live, or another family member in that kind of caregiving position. So this particular corporation that I worked with was working really more in the metropolitan suburbs of Chicago, Minneapolis, and I went various places around the country doing that. But I was an independent contractor. So I've for a lot of my career, I've been an independent contractor, basically.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Gosh,
It allows for
Ellison
some
Bay
flexibility.
And Liberty Grove, so lucky to have you.
I'm lucky to be able to live here too. I often pinch myself when, we all, like Louise and many of the community coordinators, we set really high expectations for ourselves. So we're often, juggling many balls.
Which I feel somewhat, everybody used to say, what I would be talking about Louise, and they're like, who's Louise? And I'm like, she works at the SBAA. And they're like, what's the SBAA? I mean, these are local people. These are people who live in Sister Bay that have no idea what Louise does.
Right.
So we had done a Door County Girl episode on Louise, what she does at the SBAA, because I felt like people need to know what she does, because there's like Fall Festival doesn't happen without Louise. I mean, Goat Parade doesn't happen without Louise. All the tourism, fun things for the kids that they do in the park doesn't happen without Louise, and no one knows it.
So what we do up here in Door County North is that we had one large event, Uncork Summer, that unfortunately is continuing to be postponed for a variety of reasons. Mainly that, we have a staffing issue right now, and it's a lot to ask restaurants to try to participate in big events like that. But there are other reasons too. But Door County North, along with Door Guide Publishing, produced Uncorked Summer at the Wickman House. And so,
I was going to ask you about Uncork Summer. I heard you might not have it this year. Is that true?
That it is postponed again for 2022.
Because of COVID or because of other things?
It's partly COVID, but it's primarily, it's a lot to ask the restaurants to participate in this event. Restaurant costs are incredibly up, but staffing, it's a lot like an off-site catering gig for a restaurant other than, say, Wickman House.
You're preaching to the choir here.
So,
I get it.
you got to make enough food. We're trying to. Often we were running out of food. It's a difficult off-site catering gig. It's a very compressed window of time. But we have a new event this year that is taking place up at the Liberty Grove Historical Society, and it's called Door County North Country Fair. And it's a celebration of National Pollinator Week. And National Pollinator Week is always that last weekend in June, which is when Uncorked Summer would be. And so it is, the theme for National Pollinator Week is called Wings of Life. And so on Saturday and Sunday, June 25th and 26th, we will have a variety of activities at the Historical Society. involving pollinators, workshops, music. Erin Krebs, who was a very popular at Uncorked Summer when she'd performed, she'll be performing both days. So, but when you were asking about what the community coordinators do, we all kind of have a little different title. Some of us are actually executive administrators of the association, so we don't just do the marketing. We do everything for compliance for the association, maintaining the membership, the insurance and everything behind managing a board and maintaining an association. But a lot of other community coordinators and myself, we're very focused on trying to bring people, visitors, we like to use the term visitors, not tourists,
right.
visitors to our communities in our area. But we are also very focused on our community and trying to make things as sustainable as possible for the residents, recognizing that we live here too, and we want there to be a balance.
Yeah, we want to share this with you, but we also want you to respect it as well as we want to share. And,
exactly, right, yeah.
Like mi casa es su casa.
Yeah.
They treat it as such.
Yeah.
Do you have people that help you, or do you work alone?
So I'm very lucky. I have 3 women who help staff the Welcome Center. We would love to have a male if there's ever anybody interested. It seems to be more of a women.
Yeah, man, 3 women are working there. Why wouldn't you want to jump in and work with her?
Right. Rose, Denise, and Vicki. And so they help me staff the Welcome Center 7 days a week from mid-May to late October. And then Vicki also helps me more with membership. Just this past year, has been available year-round to help me with membership renewal and things like that.
Okay.
So she's a big help.
So in Ellison Bay, we're in downtown Ellison Bay, and I shop at the Pioneer store. Big things are happening in Ellison Bay. Ellison Bay is usually the sleepy little town, but Kick-Ash is fairly new here. They haven't been here for very long, which everybody should enjoy. The Viking restaurant that has been there forever and ever is now changing hands, and that's going to be a different establishment.
Right.
You have the old Bay Lake Bank, which was the little Nicolay Bank, and now it's
called The Vault, and they
Vault.
serve gourmet popcorn and wonderful treats. And the restaurant that will be replacing the Viking is Blue Bear. It'll be known as Blue Bear Ellison Bay, and
I looked up their place in Racine, right?
So Joe and Tessa were actually just at my house yesterday.
Okay.
So Joe and Tessa, the new owners, very excited to be a part of our community, and their menu is very farm to table, scratch made, and this kind of all evolved because Tessa needed, for health reasons, really needed to be focusing on healthy food. Now, that's not to say that it's gluten-free only food.
It doesn't really matter because we all should be eating healthier food. I know you're all sitting there shaking your heads about it, but it's true.
It's going to be, I think people will be surprised. I think they'll find out that they don't even recognize they're eating something gluten-free, just like here at Kick-Ash.
Yes, tasty.
People, it's still tasty. So yeah, they're going to be opening mid-May and primarily focusing on breakfast and lunch, a lot like the Viking did, but a very different menu and a very different atmosphere.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I know all of you out there you're in my head right now. I know you're all feeding me this question. Fish boils, are they going to have fish boils still? It's been a tradition over there forever.
No, they are not, because again, it's not to maintain. I think they want to get started with who they are and
Sure.
what they're good at.
And I'm not mocking, I'm just
Yeah.
asking because I know everyone's going to say, oh my God, what happened to the fish boils?
I'm glad you asked that. They have retained the equipment and maybe down the road, but they
Yeah.
want to get started with what they're known for,
Exactly.
their menu. And because you said that, I do want to bring up that the Liberty Grove Historical Society, which for years had their fish boil at the Viking on around the Thursday, June 24th this year, That fish boil then will be taking place up at the Historical Society this year.
See, it's not gone.
Yeah, and then, but as we were talking before about staffing issues, unfortunately, Rowleys Bay, for the last 2 years, has not been able to do their fish boils, and more than likely they won't be doing their fish boils this year. So
Yeah.
it's, eventually we will get back to having some, but right now it's a little tough on the fish
it's
boils.
hard. Everybody needs help in Door
Yeah.
County. I know, and no place to live. We all
Right.
get that.
Yeah.
Yep,
A
I
couple
get
of
it.
other exciting things coming to our area.
Hold that thought, because I don't want to forget. The Henrikson's fish, little fish market is there now, and that's one of my favorite dips. It's a little, you can stop there and get their little whitefish dips and things like that, and that wasn't there very long either.
No, that just opened last year.
Yeah.
And
then the cider house.
the Island Orchard Cider, it's been around for about 10 to 12 years now, but boy, so much has changed.
I know there's so
They've
many
evolved.
new fun things. Some
Yeah.
new owners at the gas station next door here.
Right.
And Mink River Basin, awesome food, awesome lunch. And then you have new owners, not new now, but the Hugel House that has German food that everybody raves about. So you have all these kind of new businesses and people jumping in, and sleepy little Ellison Bay might become the next boom town.
Well, a lot of transition. We're lucky, and these are young families wanting to retain and maintain. For example, the Hillside Inn changed hands, and that family now that's operating the Hillside Inn wants to keep things like Old Door County was. They're not looking to rehab it so
Right.
that it looks like a place you would visit in Chicago. And while there's nothing wrong with Chicago, because we all go to Chicago, but that's not what you come.
They just want something small and quaint.
And
Yeah.
you want something that is what Door County
It
looks
is.
like.
And you're not supposed to be sitting in your hotel room all day anyway. You're supposed to be getting out and about and seeing everything and enjoying nature, right? So-
Right. But we do. We have a lot of transition with younger people taking on older businesses and maybe changing them some, like Blue Bear, or maybe not, like the Hillside Inn,
Yeah.
keeping those. So that's exciting. And there's all kinds of entrepreneurs up here working a lot of the farmers markets. So we have many farms like Mighty Wind Farms, which is started on Water's End. Gills Rock Coffee up in Gills Rock Coffee is now managed by Eric Gordon, and he'll be bringing fresh produce up there. He'll be open 7 days a week. He'll be offering pizza and things of that nature.
Ooh, pizza.
So it's kind of young, fresh, new ideas but still established businesses. Also, we're going to be getting some modifications at the Ellison Bay Beach to allow for more pickleball, which is
Of course. Listen, my son was the king of pickleball. I find wiffle balls still in the orchard around my house every now and then because we had so many wiffle balls.
Yeah.
And the kids, I worked at Al's, and I could look across the street at the park, and I could see all the kids there playing wiffle ball.
Yeah.
Now, that's kind of funny that you brought that up, because when they were going to redevelop the park a little bit, they were going to cut down. They were going to plant a whole bunch of trees.
Right.
And the kids were in an uproar. So the kids got their own petition and went against the village because they wanted to keep their wiffle ball spot.
Yeah.
And
Now,
they won.
That's wonderful, but I said pickleball, not wiffle ball or wiffle ball.
Pickleball.
So-
I'm like thinking wiffle ball.
That
Look at
it's still
Duh.
all,
I know what pickleball is now. I don't have my hearing aids in, people.
it's still all good, and it's a big
Pickleball.
big sport now,
You have
right?
tennis courts down there too, because I play tennis down there. It's fun.
And one of them actually is a pickleball court, but we'll be getting various improvements to that pickleball court, net and other things to be able to, for the pickleball players up here to be able to take advantage of that. And then also up in Gills Rock, we will be getting a disc golf course up at the Gills Rock Park, which is adjacent to the Maritime Museum, Death Store Maritime Museum
Love
up
the
there.
Maritime Museum up there. Took all the kids there. That's the best park ever up there with the swings and
Yeah.
everything there. I used to
Yeah.
go up there all the time. It was beautiful. And we would go into the boat museum where they have the fishing boat, and the kids would love to go sit in there and watch the little videos and things like that.
It is definitely.
It's a little gem.
It's a little gem. And kind of the icing on the cake is the waterfront property that the town purchased that is known as Mariners Park, which is basically just a little north of the Weborg fishing area. That will now be a waterfront park. The house is getting moved soon, and that will open up green space up there.
Wow, lots going on.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's pretty cool. You know, speaking of the little museum you had up there, Duke, who used to be a longtime coffee customer at Al's, he has now recently passed away. We miss him a lot. He used to come in like 2 times a day. His wife was in all the time. But he was the guy that would take all the kids around and show them everything in the museum. And you know, sometimes kids don't want to go in a museum. They think it's boring. But he made it so fun and interesting. And shipwrecks and fishing and the industries up here. And the kids were like, what? There's shipwrecks up here? They had no idea.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. I like all that stuff too. On a little bit of a note, I wanted to bring up this, where do they go if they want to see you or talk to you? Or where do they go if they have an idea or they want to volunteer? So
really the best way to reach us now is either social media, direct message us on the Facebook page, Door County North's Facebook page, or email doorcountynorth@gmail.com. I'm not always in the Welcome Center, but they can stop in the Welcome Center and get my card or tell one of the girls there. Sometimes I am staffing in there. If they're looking for information about what to do in the area, that again is where they would want to stop, and we've got information about the entire county. And what we do is we want to make sure people find what they're looking for, even if it's not necessarily in the Door County North area. So I think all the welcome centers and visitor centers are all about wanting to make sure that the visitor finds what they're looking for, regardless of who we are actually kind of working for. Yeah.
That's awesome. And I know you said that little white building, you had no idea. It's a little white hut out here, right across from the old Viking restaurant on the corner, and no one really actually knows where that little white building came from. So if anyone sees this episode and really knows where that white building came from, they should let you know. That could be history in itself.
That is the mystery we would like to solve.
That is a little mystery.
Or if you worked in that little white hut, because it was once up the Historical Society, and then it was down here, and then it's moved around. And if you've ever worked for what used to be called the Top of the Thumb, Door County North was previously known as the Top of the Thumb Association.
Yes.
And it rebranded as Door County North around 2012.
Okay. Yeah. That is interesting. I like that. I remember, so all these places now that you can go to and get information. I remember we had information booths, and they still have information booths, but we don't call them information booths. We'd go on family trips, and we would just pull into a gas station and ask directions. It was horrible. My dad would make us run in and go, ask them where the such and such is. Go into that gas station there and go and ask them where the such and such is. So we were like little, run into the Citgo or the mobile gas station to go ask where to go.
Yeah.
And we always die laughing at Al's because we always had a landline. We do not have a landline anymore at Al's because everybody got sick of answering the phone in the kitchen. Hello, Al's. Yeah, I think the Sister Bay Bowl is open. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what their hours are. Yeah, I think they serve till 10. Yeah, because we all know what's going on, sort of. Like, do you have Husby's phone number? Actually, I do.
Right.
I'm embarrassed to say, and I can give it to him. We were like the information hub. People will just call us up and ask us a random question about the grocery store hours.
Right.
So I feel like this is a nice little thing to have where people can really find out about things to do other than shopping. You know, like a lot of people don't want to shop. They want to go find some little hidden secret spot where it's a little more quiet, off the beaten track. And these little places you can go to, you can find these things out.
And that's very much kind of who we are up in Door County North. We're about outdoor recreation. We have lovely shops like this in Ellison Bay, but you know, and a little bit up in Gills Rock. But Rowleys Bay is really pretty much Rowleys Bay Resort. But you know, we have so many land trust properties and Newport State Park and Door Bluff Headlands Park and lots of coastline.
Yes, yeah, beautiful, beautiful parks.
Yeah,
yes.
we're more about outdoor recreation and things like that than necessarily, the
Yeah,
shopping.
swimming in Europe Lake is one of my most fun things.
Yeah.
I love Europe Lake. It's like a bathtub in the summertime. It's perfect after work.
It's nice.
Was there anything else that you want to tell anybody about Ellison Bay and Liberty Grove area that you really want to get your word out there? And
I think we've covered a lot. Thank you. I think we've really covered a lot, and there is more to know. And if you are interested, again, Door County North, Google it. Our website will pop up, and you can find all the contact information you would like, or call 920-854-5448 after May 21st.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
when it's kind of slow up here right now, but it's slow with people, but it's busy with everybody getting ready for the season.
Oh my gosh.
So it might not seem busy to anyone else. I'll be driving down Sister Bay in the middle of the week, and there's not a car. But if you try to talk to anyone in Sister Bay, they're too busy to talk to you. They're so busy. I'm like, how are you busy? There's no one here. I get it. We are busy behind the scenes getting ready for the big busy.
We are actually more busy. The community coordinators, people often, it's a flip. It's like once things are going in the summertime,
Yes.
yeah, we're busy, but we're even more busy leading into
Of
that,
course.
getting things ready.
In
Yeah.
the summertime, you're just then working it.
Right.
Right now,
exactly.
you're trying to plan it.
Plan it, get it promoted, get it in a brochure, get it in print, get it in this, get it in that. Right.
Well,
yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to meet
It
you.
was lovely meeting you too. Thank you.
Yes. I think, did you ever meet Jill Harding?
Oh yeah, that's Jill and I. We're
was
known
just
for
gonna
our
say,
hats.
you two are so much alike.
Jill-
She's one of
Jill
my
and I-
favorite people.
Yeah.
And Jill Harding, if you don't know, she's an artist. She lives in Bisbee, Arizona in the winter, and she used to have a little place down
Garrett Bay Road.
and she always had the sign that said like "Be peaceful" or "Be calm," and everybody would stop and look at that sign. But she's passed the torch now to Carrie Lewis's family, and they're
Right.
carrying it on. But when I met you, I thought, boy, she sure would get along with Jill Harding. And just so you know, Jill Harding used to work as a waitress at Al's.
Everybody
Who didn't?
I was going to say everybody but me at my age, if they were my
You
age.
can still work there if you want. We're hiring. We're hiring. But anyhow, Jill and my dad were like two peas in a pod.
That's yeah.
He would call her the ham girl of the North. And oh my God, he just loved her so much, and she just loved him so much. So
Yeah.
you guys remind me a lot of each other. You guys are awesome.
Thank you. Yeah,
This
that's
whole area
quite
is
a
lucky to
compliment.
have you up this way.
Thank you.
I live in Liberty Grove out here in the country on a dead-end road and a falling down farm, but I'll have to get a little more involved in what's going on, So.
Well, when you work like you work, I get it.
I mean, I work in
understand.
Sister Bay, but I really like getting out of the big busy and getting back out up here where it's a little more mellow. Like, I don't want to run to the Piggly Wiggly if I don't have to in the summer. If it's super busy, if I could just run into the Pioneer store.
Who
But I
does?
love the Piggly Wiggly because I go there quite a bit and I love it. But if I just need something quick and I don't want to wait in line, and when I go in there in my dirndl, people think I work there at the Piggly Wiggly because we wear dirndls at the Piggly
Right.
Wiggly when we work there.
Oh my gosh.
So I just run in here to the Pioneer store and grab everything. So
I hear you. It does. It's convenient.
well, anyway, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I'm so happy to meet you, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck here. They're lucky to have a person like you in charge. I love it.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for joining us for another episode of Door County Girl, everyone. And don't forget to like and subscribe to get on our YouTube channel, and you can meet more cool people like Mickie.
Thank you.
Yeah. See you, everyone. Thanks for watching Door County Girl. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next time.